So hello everyone. We are here with the session on group discussion, and we all know that nowadays group discussion have become a very important part, whether it is for higher education, whether you are going for cracking the interviews, because group discussion is something which will help the evaluators to focus on lot of different skills. It will help them to evaluate your communication skills, your leadership skill. So this group discussion help them, provide them with the clarity about what kind of a personality other person is holding, and whether his or her personality is going to be best suitable for the job or not. Like in the last session, in the previous session, we were discussing about few of the mistakes which you are supposed to avoid when you are going for the group discussion. We've already discussed about 3-4 mistakes. That is, the first mistake which we discussed was, do not take the lead if you do not know the topic. See, this is very important. I agree that if you take the lead, you get the bonus point. That is absolutely true. But if you do not know the topic, if you do not have any information about the topic, it is not a good idea to go for the group discussion. What happens? We, with the excitement, we just have one thing in our mind, that if we are going to start the group discussion, we will get extra points. But do you think if you're going to say anything irrelevant to the topic, you are still going to get the additional point? No. So it is very important that if you are initiating the group discussion, if you are starting the group discussion, you are aware about the topic, you have the valid points which you can put when you are presenting yourself. So the next point here is, don't avoid eye contact with fellow participants. A common mistake which people do when they are going for the group discussion, they just focus on one specific person, or they just maintain eye contact either with the panelist or with any of the person with whom they feel comfortable. They do not make eye contact, and the other people who are just listening to the speaker, the listeners, they do not maintain eye contact. This is not a good sign. If you do not maintain the eye contact, it shows that you are not a good listener. You are not listening to what other person is speaking. So it is very important to understand that the maintaining proper eye contact with the people is very, very important, because it will help you to understand what the other person is saying, and it will help the speaker to understand that yes, you are listening to them, you are demonstrating your listening skills. Even the panelist will also look for the listening skills, because when you will be working into the organization, let's say even if you are being hired for the position of team leader or a manager, you will have to speak, you will have to listen also, you have to showcase your listening skills, making other person understand that what they are going to do, and what they are saying, that you are listening to them, you are understanding them. It is with your listening skills, with your body language, that they understand that yes, you are paying proper attention. So that is why, do not avoid eye contact with fellow participants. Include multiple people. Do include multiple people. If only, let's say, a speaker speaking, you maintain eye contact with the person who is speaking. Along with that, just have eye contact with the other person who are also listening to them. Avoiding eye contact in such a situation then is seen as a sign of disrespect and lack of confidence. Who avoids the eye contact? The person either who is shy, who is not speaking honestly, who is not confident, who is nervous. These are the signs due to which you avoid making eye contact. And if you are avoiding that, you are showing that you are not a confident person, and no organization would like to hire a person who doesn't have confidence, who doesn't show confidence who doesn't show respect towards other person, the organization is not willing to hire such a person. The reason is you will be working with the group of people. You're not going to work alone in the organization. And if you do not show respect to other person, if you do not have confidence, how you are going to work with the team and how you are going to make the organization grow. So both the things are very important for the organization. So make eye contact with the fellow member, not the evaluator. So make sure when I'm telling you to maintain the eye contact, you are not just focusing on maintaining the eye contact with the evaluator. You are also maintaining the eye contact with the fellow members, all the members who are sitting around the table. You have to ensure that you are making eye contact with each and every person who is sitting around the table. At least for a minute, you should have made eye contact with them, as it gives the impression that you are keen enough to make your point clear to everyone present there. Now, when you are talking, when you are presenting your point, at that point of time, make sure that you are looking to each and every person. This will show that you want each and every person to understand you. You want to clear your point to each and every person, not just to one single person. And that is why it is very important that you make eye contact with each and every person who is sitting around the table. Because not making the eye contact with all the person will show that you just want to present your point, you just want to prove your point only to the panelist, and even panelists will not like you presenting and proving your point only to them. They also want you to prove your point to all the people who are sitting around the table. So make sure when you are speaking, you are maintaining the eye contact with each and every person who is sitting around the table. The next point is avoid interrupting others. As soon as point enters our mind, we become super excited. We become overexcited that we just want to speak up. It is not a good way. When you are into the group discussion, you have to understand one thing, that you have to show your listening skills also. You cannot interrupt others so often. You have to understand that you are going to present your point to other people same way. Others, they are also presenting their point. And when people are presenting their point to you, you should listen to them. Just think, if you are presenting your point to them and they just interrupt you in between, would you like that? No. Even it is going to show the lack of listening skills. So in the discussion, when you're sitting in the discussion, make sure you do not interrupt other people so frequently. Let them finish up the topic and then enter into the discussion. Then present your point. Group discussion are meant not just to evaluate your speaking skills, but also your listening skills. That's what I've been saying. It is not just about your speaking skill. It's not just about what you're speaking. It is also about what you are listening, how you are listening, whether you are paying proper attention to the things other person is saying. And here, why you have to focus on listening skills is because at the end of the discussion, the panelist may call any random participant from the group discussion to come up with the conclusion of the discussion. And if you do not listen to what other person has told, you won't be able to conclude the discussion. Thereby, getting the negative points, gathering the negative points for yourself. So make sure you are paying proper attention whenever you are talking, whenever you are interacting, whenever you are presenting yourself, you are giving proper attention to the content you are speaking. Sorry, you are paying proper attention to the content of the other person. Along with that, when the person stops, you just start presenting your point. Interrupting someone often lead to negative points. True. If you are going to interrupt someone, it is going to give you negative points. No matter how good point you have presented, no matter what value that point has added to the discussion, no matter where you took the discussion, the only thing which matters is your interruption will give you negative points. The topic might seem as that of a debate, but group discussion is a discussion. There's a lot of difference between discussion and debate. Yes, discussion is something where we do not win or we do not speak to win the argument. We do not speak to win the situation. We just present our views, and we just listening, considering all the views of all the people. We just try to get the best results, right? We just try to find the best solution, and that is discussion. There we are not speaking or doing anything to win the arguments, to win over other person, to prove ourselves right. We are not doing any of these activities. So here, that is the discussion. But debate is where we do not give the other person the chance. We just want to win that situation. That is debate. So when you are going into the group discussion, you have to understand that this is not a debate. It is merely a discussion where interruption is considered to be negative. But in debate, if you interrupt in between, it is not going to be considered as a negative thing, because in debate, the only thing which matters is winning over the situation. So don't go on interrupting others while they're speaking. Make it your habit that you are not interrupting other person when they are speaking. Do not interrupt others when they are speaking. Have patience, let them finish, and then present your point. Then enter into the discussion. It will help you earn more points and express yourself more effectively. So here, why it will help you earn more points is because it will show that yes, though your body language will show that you want to speak. Panelists are observing. So along with that, they will also see that you are a person who is very good with listening skills. You have a lot of patience because you are just waiting for the other person to finish off what he was saying and then entering into the discussion. This is going to give you extra positive points. And along with that, when the other person has already ended the discussion, when the discussion is over from his part, it will also help you to present your point more effectively and efficiently. Next mistake to avoid is don't just speak once, contribute during the entire discussion. This is our habit that we just put, let's say 10 points came in our mind, and we just concentrate on putting the all 10 points all together. It is not a good way to present yourself in the group discussion. Make it your habit that you have to speak. If you have 10 points, speak 10 times. Do not just present everything in one go. Students usually try to speak all their points in a single go, in a single chance. Yes, people do that thing. They just want to speak up everything in just single go. They want to present their whole point in just one go, and that is not a good point. What will happen by doing this? The people just present their point, and for the entire discussion they're just sitting and listening to what others are speaking, because they have already presented all their points. No, it is always better to contribute small and being an active part of the discussion throughout the discussion. So it is not the wise move to present all your points in just one go. Break all your points into 2-3 different parts and then try to focus on one keyword at a time. See, there is one more problem. If you put all your points in one go, it will show that you do not have patience. You always want to speak quickly, fast, and just want to finish up the work, as if you do not want to be the active participant of the discussion. It's just you have been asked to sit in the discussion. You just want to finish it off quickly. No. Do not bring that negative image of yours when you are dealing with the group discussion. Have that positive image for yourself. Make sure whatever you speak is of value and not repetition of what you or someone else has previously spoken. This also you have to understand, that if you are breaking your points, if you are being the part of the group discussion throughout the discussion, you are not putting the same point, you are not repeating the points which are being already discussed by some other person. Make sure whatever you speak is of the value and is not the repetition of what you or someone else has previously spoken. Next thing is, don't lose confidence. If something goes wrong, a lot of aspirants get nervous and lose confidence. See, we are the human beings. Though we try our best to present the best point, but in case if something goes wrong, it is okay. Do not be nervous, do not lose confidence, and do not just quietly sit on your place thinking that now I am not going to present any more points. Do not do that. It's okay. We are human. If you do a mistake, say, okay, I was wrong. It's okay. Say, I was wrong, it is okay. But do not be adamant. Do not be nervous, and do not lose your confidence. There is no use crying over spilled milk. If you have spoken something wrong, do not feel bad for that. Instead, focus on coming back to the group discussion actively. Think what point you are going to make, which is going to make people forget what you spoke earlier. Just bring that point into the discussion and present yourself. Take it as a challenge and try to attempt to bounce back and correct your mistake. That's what I said. Instead of thinking about the spilled milk, think about how you are going to come back to the discussion, how you are going to bounce back and present such a point that people will forget what wrong you said earlier. Just bounce back and cover up your mistake. Now, covering up mistake doesn't mean that you do not accept that you spoke something wrong. You spoke that, it's okay, but come up with some good points which is going to add value to the discussion. So while at the same time add some valuable points to the discussion. Next thing is, don't mumble, be audible. I was thinking that this is you spoke everything. You think that you have presented your point and all the people listening to you are like, what did you say? Did you understood? Now they have started murmuring among themselves that what did he say? Did you understood that? Can you please say? Can you please let me know what did he say? Do not mumble. Mumbling shows that you are not confident with what you are saying, or you are in a doubtful state whether you are right or wrong. Do not mumble. Be clear, be audible. Speaking in dim is waste of both your efforts and time. If you think that by speaking softly, you can present your point, and if the point is good, you will get extra points. No. If you are murmuring, if you are speaking so softly, it is the waste of time for you as well as for the people. Not only the time, it is the waste of your efforts also. So speaking in dim is a waste of both time and effort. Do not mumble. If you have a weak, low or trem voice, you stand no chance. If you think you have that voice, work on your voice. You stand no chance to get the points in the group discussion, to stand in the group discussion, to crack the group discussion. You have to find out the ways that how you are going to present yourself. You could either wait for the commotion to settle down, or if you have a strong voice, then you could try to lead the discussion. So there is one way: either work on your voice, make your voice louder, or just wait for the moment. As soon as there is silence everywhere, put your point. Or else, if you are a person who has a very loud voice, who know that with my voice I can be audible and I can be reachable to each and every person sitting around the table, use your voice and go ahead with the discussion. It will help convey a message and your ability to lead the group in a situation like this would leave a good impression on the evaluators. So, see what ultimately you want to achieve from group discussion. You just want to get the good marks, good feedback from the evaluators. Let's say if this group discussion is for a job, you just want to crack the group discussion of the job. Let's say if the group discussion is for the higher studies, you just want to get a seat in that specific college. So if you are going to leave positive impact on the mind of the evaluators by being audible, by being clear, by not wasting your or other person's time and energy, then it is going to leave a good impression on the mind of the evaluator. The next and the last thing which you should avoid is to conclude. Limited amount of time. Convey your message effectively and also listen carefully to what others are saying. If you can help add some valuable fact based or such information, or manage to lead the group, you surely have added advantage. If you think you are the best person to conclude, if you think that you have listened to each and every person's point, and by concluding, you can put an additional point in that which will give a good impact on the information which we have collected, on the message which we are going to share, go for it. If you can add valuable comments, if you can add valuable information, and if you are aware about what people have told, go and conclude. But if you do not have the content, if you are not aware of what people have spoken, do not start the conclusion. Let other person initiate. See, starting and conclusion both are the very important part of group discussion. Starting means bringing the people into the group discussion, giving them a point of discussion, and concluding means concluding, summarizing everything, whatever was spoken, whatever was presented by the people in the group discussion. So both are an essential part, and both of them, if done correctly, will give you extra additional point. But both of them should be done very carefully, very properly. A small mistake in attempting anything can lead to negative marking. So conclusion, while concluding, make sure you are just taking the important points. You are not dragging the thing. You're not stretching the discussion. You're just putting the important points and you're summarizing up in just 1 or 2 minutes. You are not making it big, exceed for 5 to 10 minutes, because this is not the discussion. You do not have to say the history. You just have to summarize everything, whatever have happened, whatever conclusion was being derived, or whatever suggestion was being made, or whatever discussion, whatever the decision came out after the discussion. You just have to conclude that in simple words, carrying all the effective points. So these are the few mistakes which you should avoid doing when you are the part of the group discussion. If you really want to crack the interview, and if you really want to be a active participant of the group discussion, it is very important that you avoid doing all these mistakes. Next, simple hacks to crack a group discussion for beginners. I know you all are going to be the beginners when you are going to enter, go either for the higher studies or you are going to go for the interview. So for beginners, we have some simple hacks to crack the group discussion. So the first hack is create a structure before beginning. Now, before you start with the group discussion, create a structure. During the preparation time, prepare a structure of your discussion. Prepare the structure of your discussion, that what you want to say, what you are going to say in the group discussion, how you are going to put your point in the group discussion. Prepare yourself. You know, whenever, most of the time, whenever we get the topic, we get 5-10 minutes to prepare that what we want to say, what we are going to present. So use that time properly. Prepare well for the group discussion and prepare the structure of your discussion, that how you are going to discuss, what you are going to discuss. As soon as your discussion start, look at your structure and start speaking serially. So now the group discussion has started. Now people have started discussing. So now it's the time for you to look at the structure and start speaking serially. Start taking one point at a time from your structure and start presenting that point to the people. And if you think that somebody has already spoken your point, just mark a cross so that you do not go with the repetition of the same thing. You can also discuss the agenda with your group and work together on it. The third thing which you can do is you can discuss the agenda with your group and work together. Let's say the team, you all are collected, you all have come for the discussion to decide about new marketing strategy. The discussion is all about that. So you can just discuss the agenda, that we are going to discuss about these points. We are going to discuss about the ways by which we can reach the market, by way we can cover the market, what is the financial aspect which will be financial support which will be required. So you can even discuss your agenda with your group, and then also you can work together on it. It gives a logical flow to your discussion, because it will, you know, once you discuss plan with everyone, they will know that what are the points which we are going to discuss. So they'll prepare themselves that way. So it is going to give a logical flow to the discussion. No unnecessary information, no unnecessary discussion, no unnecessary argument is going to be there in the discussion, so that we do not stretch the discussion unnecessarily. To avoid the off-track discussion, keep summarizing in between so that everyone remains on track. If you think the discussion is going off the topic, it is better that after every half an hour, after every 4 to 5 points, after every 4 to 5 points, you are summarizing the things. You're summarizing, okay, this is what we have understood, and this is the summary, so that no one goes off the topic. Now, the last point here is the structure can be in form of a flowchart, a block diagram, or simple steps or nodes. So see, it is the structure. Why you are creating this structure? We are creating this structure so that we can know what all points we are going to discuss and when to discuss. Because there are some points which cannot be discussed in the beginning until and unless some people have not put up their points. There are some points which can be just for the contradictory purpose. So for in this way, you need to prepare either a flow chart or a block diagram, or just write in simple steps that I'll be discussing point 1, point 2, point 3, point 4, so that you do not forget any point. You know, our mind is very small. So what thoughts comes in our mind at this point of time may not last with you when you actually want to present yourself. So in that situation, it is very important that you have the list of points which you are going to discuss with the people. This will help you to be ready with the things which you want to discuss. Right. So always have a flow chart or write down in a simple paper, whatever it is, you should be ready with the points which you are going to put in the group discussion. This is the first way, that is create the structure before beginning. The second way is speak point to point. Speak point to point and have effective communication. Do not randomly choose the point, and if you are randomly choosing the point, make sure you are cutting out that point so that you do not repeat the same point again and again. Always focus on speaking point to point, one point at a time. Discuss about that point, put the point open for the discussion. Once it is done, go with the next point. So speak point to point and have effective communication. If you bring 5 points all together, you know, people will not know which point to be discussed. Maybe they'll just discuss the last point you are speaking or the first point which you spoke, and the rest, all the points are just going off the topic. They're just going above the head. They are being just, they came on the floor, but they are left untouched. So do not make this thing happen. Be confident about words. Whenever you are speaking, whatever you are speaking, speak with the confidence. Have the confidence that yes, whatever I'm speaking is right. Do not be afraid of speaking. Do not be shy of speaking. Do not be nervous while speaking. Be confident and speak with confidence. Prepare the discussion according to the topic and do not hesitate. Now see, when in the first point, when we're discussing about creating the structure, you have already thought about the topic, right? And you, with after the thinking, then only you have prepared the points for the discussion. So do not hesitate to put the points. You have already researched about those points. You have already gone through those points. You have already understood those points, and then you have written down. Then you have thought of bringing those points for the discussion. So do not hesitate to discuss those points with the people. Do not hesitate to bring those points on the table. Your point should be clear and precise. Yes, this you need to understand. Do not put any diplomatic point which is not giving a clear meaning, that whether you are in favor of the discussion or you are against the discussion. Make sure you are putting down the clear and the precise points. Your points need to be very much clear when you are speaking. Until and unless your points are not clear, you know, people won't be able to discuss, and you know, you will be considered as a person who is a neutral person, right? Who is sometimes saying I'm in favor, sometimes saying I'm against the topic, who cannot stand by his or her own words. And this again shows the lack of confidence. This again shows the nervousness. This again shows that you cannot stand for one thing. It is very, very easy to manipulate you, to influence you, and to change your mindset. Do not show this thing in group discussion. Be firm with whatever you have decided. If you think I'm against the topic, I do not support this thing, be against that throughout the discussion, no matter what point the other person is putting. You have to be firm with your decision. Do not include large paragraphs in your discussion. See, when we are talking about point-to-point discussion, that means there should be specific points which you are putting for the discussion. Okay, do not include large paragraph. Like if we talk about pandemic, do not say that due to this, I am completely against this. Pandemic was good for us because it has improved the medical facilities. The earlier medical facilities, we were not having the good medical facilities. Hospitals were not well structured, but because of the pandemic, there are so many medical facilities, and we have even seen how doctors have been so supportive. Do not include this. They just need the point, and rest they'll discuss themselves. Let's say if you are against the pandemic, so you can say that it has affected the livelihood of lot of people. That's okay. That's the point you have put it along with the figures. So as for the figures, we have seen that this much percentage of the people became unemployed and they're struggling for their daily bread also. That's it. Do not stretch it. They're not getting the food. They are not getting the shelter. They are roaming here and there. They are unable to find the jobs for themselves. They do not have the saving. No one is coming forward to help them. No. When you are into the discussion, you have to understand that you are putting the point on the table for discussion. When you have said that people have become unemployed, this much of the percentage of the people became employed, this percentage of the people are even struggling to earn their daily bread. Now let people discuss about them. Okay, your part is done. Just be on your point. Do not stretch. Just try to get the main tagline which you want to put on the table to support your views. That's it. So make sure the discussion is not in the large paragraph. It is the point-to-point discussion. You're presenting the points in the discussion. So there are 7 more things which we are going to discuss. The 7 more hacks which we are going to discuss to crack the group discussion in the next session of group discussion. We are done for the day. Any doubts related to group discussion, any problem you are facing? Let's say if you are practicing group discussion, or if you have ever gone for the group discussion, and if you think you are facing some problem, just ask me. You can get back to me in any of the session of group discussion. So that's all for the session. We will have the last session for the day, that is entrepreneurship, at 5:30. At 4:50. Bye-bye. Have a wonderful day.